Osseo School District teachers raise concerns about their safety in the classroom. What the local teachers union says must be done. Then, do you have insurance for your pets? Is it even necessary? We'll explore the issue in Money Savers. But first, Brooklyn Center raises concerns about level 3 sex offenders. Officials wonder if the city is getting too many. 12 News starts right now. Is Brooklyn Center getting unfair treatment when it comes to level 3 sex offenders?
Well, city officials believe so. Consider this, there are currently 147 level 3 offenders in Hennepin County. Those are the most likely to reoffend. 126 live in Minneapolis, 6 live in Brooklyn Center, and the city is concerned that number could grow. The city believes, based on its relatively small population, it should never have more than 1.
We went from maybe 1 a year, though, to 6 with 2 more in the pipeline very, very quickly, within a year's period of time.
Brooklyn Center has a temporary moratorium in place preventing level 3s from living in the city. It's believed to be the first city in the state to enact such a moratorium. Now, the City Council is considering an ordinance that would prevent level 3s from living within 2,000 feet of any school, child care facility, or public playground. The city believes action taken by Hennepin County to prohibit sex offenders in certain zip codes of Minneapolis has pushed more sex offenders to Brooklyn Center.
Given the lack of communication and cooperation among the entities here, it's really no wonder that we felt we had to do this.
Minnesota's sex offender program is facing court pressure to treat and release more offenders, and Brooklyn Center believes its housing affordability makes it more likely that sex offenders would locate there. The city's proposed ordinance could get final approval next month.
A Dakota County man who led Golden Valley Police on a chase through residential neighborhoods is now charged. According to the criminal complaint, Mitchell Gobley stole a truck and tried to speed away from police early Sunday morning. He ended up crashing in a wooded area behind someone's home. Police eventually found Gobley hiding under a house.
A Crystal man who set his ex-girlfriend's house on fire has been sentenced to prison. Antonio Adams must serve nearly 5 years in prison for the fire that occurred last year. Fire at the home on Lee Avenue caused about $350,000 in damage. Police say Adams also stole jewelry from the home prior to setting it on fire. 3 pets died in the blaze. The union representing Osseo teachers is raising concerns about physical and verbal assaults by students.
Education Minnesota Osseo recently sent a letter to the superintendent and the school board asking for better safeguards. Reporter Sonia Goins has more.
Osseo is the 5th largest district in the state and serves about 20,000 students. But some say bad behavior by some students is disrupting the learning environment.
There were a lot of instances coming from our members to the office here.
Kelly Wilson is union president for Education Minnesota Osseo. Last week, he sent this letter to the superintendent and board members, stating some teachers continue to be verbally and physically assaulted.
I don't think it's a huge number or all the time, but there are instances that occur that are safety concerns.
The letter outlined 2 incidents. In one case, a student violently punched a teacher's unborn baby. And another time, a student threatened to stab a teacher with scissors.
It doesn't make a sense to me. Why would he want to stab a teacher?
Sullivan Johnson's son attends Osseo Senior High School.
Why would the teacher want to keep all these kind of kids in class? Because I wouldn't want to teach us kids like that if he want to fight me in class.
He says some of the responsibility falls on parents.
A lot of these parents got to step up to the plate and say, listen, when you go to school, you got to go there if you listen to what the teacher says.
The union says when teachers have to stop their lessons to deal with bad behavior in the classroom, it takes time away from students who are actually there to learn.
We are interested in making sure that we have a safe learning environment for all of our students and that learning can happen in every one of our classrooms.
The union says its members want a uniform system of dealing with students who misbehave.
Everybody that works in our schools needs to feel safe in those buildings.
Sonia Goins, 12 News.
The union also offered suggestions like more mental health services for students. The district declined our request for an interview with the superintendent today. In Plymouth, the city is moving ahead with plans to widen Vicksburg Lane. Plymouth chose a contractor and finalized plans with Canadian Pacific Railroad to build a bridge over the train tracks at Vicksburg Lane. The road will be widened from Schmidt Lake Road north to Maple Grove. State bonding money will be used for the bridge. And Plymouth approved a $1 million contract to fix a parking space crunch at the Ice Center and Lifetime Fitness. The city would pay about half the cost, with Lifetime Fitness paying the rest. The Plymouth Ice Center and Lifetime Complex draws almost 500,000 visitors each year. With all the work on light rail in the northwest suburbs, another transit plan is flying under the radar.
Bus rapid transit is being planned for Brooklyn Center and North Minneapolis. It promises to use upgraded buses to speed up the trip. Route 19, connecting Brooklyn Center to downtown Minneapolis, is one of the busiest in Metro Transit's system. That makes it a prime candidate for an upgrade.
As we've been out in the corridor talking about this plan with folks, we've heard a lot of interest in making an investment in North Minneapolis and Brooklyn Center to bring better transit service.
That starts with new buses. Metro Transit showed us a bus that will be used on a similar route that starts this summer in Minneapolis and St. Paul. It runs on regular streets, but commuters can expect to get to their destination 20 to 25% faster.
Most of the delay comes from when people are boarding the bus and paying their fares in cash, and from stopping every single block, and from getting hung up at red lights.
So you'll notice something's missing.
Yes, we don't have the fare box on these buses.
Riders will pay before they board, like on light rail. Combine that with fewer stops, and that should speed up the trip along the 8-mile route from the Brooklyn Center bus transfer station down Brooklyn Boulevard and onto Penn Avenue into Minneapolis. And there will be less waiting at red lights.
We're getting some signal priority as we go through some red lights to make the red lights shorter or to keep them green for the bus so that we get through faster.
There's also the latest gizmos to signal the driver when to stop, as well as more space to get on and off.
One of the big differences is that this rear door is very wide. Most of our bus doors today are about half this width, so this is 56 inches wide, which means that as we're coming and going in the bus, a lot of people can do so more comfortably and more quickly.
Right now, the Brooklyn Center route is in the planning stages. Metro Transit has secured half the $30 million cost. If we can get the rest, the system should start running by 2018.
This is about improving the travel time and improving the comfort of the facilities for our existing customers and drawing more people into transit.
After this line, known as the C Line, is up and running, Metro Transit is planning a second BRT system running through the Brooklyn Center Transit Station that would take a different route into Minneapolis.
Coming up, a growing industry, insurance for your pet. 12 News Money Savers looks at what you need to be aware of.
And then later in sports, Breck's boys hockey team skates a step closer to a spot in the state tournament.
But first, no major swings in the weather. We stay pretty close to average. If you find yourself spending more money on your pets, you're not alone.
The American Pet Products Association says pet spending is at an all-time high. But something that might save you money when it comes to your pets is pet insurance. Reporter Shannon Slatton explains more in today's Money Savers.
This is Tybalt, Prince of Cats, who reigns inside this Robbinsdale home.
Yeah, I'm a cat person. We have two of them.
When Diana Ton adopted Tybalt, she kept up monthly payments on his wellness plan.
My friend had it, and I saw her invoices when she transferred them to me, and it was like, well, this is going to save us money.
And proof of that is on the receipt.
Right here it says my total would have been $483.85, and I only paid the $12.74, so I saved $471 here. I mean, for $25 a month, one visit basically paid for it.
Her plan pays for preventative care, and she says it's worth it.
It helps getting the visits done.
However, it doesn't pay for unpredicted injuries or illness.
We do a lot of the ER or triage that comes in, but also just managing for patients and care.
Like what comes through the doors of Blue Pearl Specialty and Emergency Pet Hospital in Blaine.
You don't anticipate them to get hit by a car, but that's certainly something that we see more of.
That's when pet insurance could make a big difference in how much you are paying out of pocket.
Out of the blue, not even expecting it, hit by cars especially are one of them, but also foreign bodies. And those are all very common, and they can be expensive.
With dozens of plans on the market, it's important to read the fine print. Plans generally do not cover pre-existing conditions, and many don't cover congenital conditions, which are often linked to certain breeds.
Little Chihuahuas or Malteses that have little patellas or their kneecaps that like to come pop in and out is a common one in which some pet insurances don't cover because it is technically a congenital disease.
Also know some plans ask you to pay out of pocket, even into the thousands, and then be reimbursed.
Maybe having a special account that they can keep just for pet care is always a good idea to put some money away each month.
There are so many details when it comes to pet insurance, so talk to your vet first and then do your homework before deciding what works for you.
Taking your time and figuring out which one would be best.
For Money Savers, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
Also, something to check on when buying a wellness plan or pet insurance is how it is terminated. Sometimes you are required to pay for the duration of the contract, even if your pet passes away. Something to think about. Yeah. Well, speaking of pets, we'll show you what arrived today at the Animal Humane Society in Golden Valley.
But first in sports, the Champlin Park boys basketball begins playoff preparations for what they hope will be another section championship season. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back.
Well, the Breck hockey guys have their eye on state tournament once again. They're a little bit away from that, but they made it look easy last night.
Yeah, they did. A team they've beaten now 3 times this season to move on. The Breck boys hockey team made its 11th state Class A tournament appearance last season. Mustangs are now 1 win away from making it an even dozen. Breck facing rival Blake in the Section 2A semifinals Tuesday night. First period, nice passing on the power play here by the Mustangs. Tyler Scott with a one-timer for the goal. It's 1-0 Breck after 1. Early second period, Blake Sasha Sjogren in on a rush, but Breck goalie Lyndon Olness makes one of his 22 saves on his way to posting a shutout. Nice work along the boards by Breck's Austin Heidemann, working the puck out and scoring from in tight for his 17th goal of the season, and it's 2-0. Justin Paschke with a nice helper here, setting up Will Torgerson for Breck's 3rd goal of the game. It's 3-0 Mustangs through 2. Late in the game, Heidemann nets his 2nd goal of the night. An empty netter caps the scoring, giving Breck a 4-0 win over Blake. Breck will face Delano for the Section 2A final for the 3rd time in the past 4 seasons. That game faces off at 7 o'clock Thursday night at Parade Ice Garden. Mustangs beat the Tigers in overtime a year ago. The boys basketball playoffs are getting started. Maple Grove is now in Section 8 4A. The top-seeded Crimson hosting Moorhead in the quarterfinals. First half, Maple Grove's Brad Davison throws cross-court to Jack Hutchison, who hits a 3, putting Maple Grove on the board first. Then it's Davison on the defensive end. He swoops in for the steal, recovers the ball, and then drives for the layup and the foul. And Maple Grove is up 11-0. Davison all the way across to Hutchison, who again hits a 3. He finishes the game with 22 points. More Maple Grove on defense. Bubba Horton with the steal. He'll make a great pass to Jared Martinson, streaking in for a layup. And Maple Grove is up 16. And they keep pouring it on. Davison to Michael Liu, who gives it right back. Davison's 3, part of an 18-point first half for him. The Crimson roll to an 84-40 win. The semifinals in Section 8 are Saturday night in St. Cloud. Maple Grove faces Rogers at 6 o'clock, followed at 7:30 by Elk River and Brainerd. The Section finals next Thursday, March 3rd at a neutral site. The Section 5 4A boys basketball tournament tips off Thursday night. Defending section winner Champlin Park will aim at another title. The Rebels are 20-6 and seated 2nd behind undefeated Osseo. Champlin Park went all the way to the state final before losing last season. Standards are high now, and the Rebels say they can play better than they did in the regular season.
Yeah, we wanted to do better. We had 6 losses, I think, and 20 wins. That wasn't our goal necessarily, but we feel like we did okay. I mean, we could have done a lot better, so we're just going to try to carry that into the postseason, about better play into the postseason, and see how that works out.
Northwest Suburban Conference North Division winner Champlin Park plays 7th seed Irondale in the section quarterfinals Thursday. They beat the Knights during the season, but just by 5 points.
They have a lot of guards. They match up well with us. They have one guy who he can guard Theo. He's got some size and some weight, but we're going to try to expose that matchup.
When we're practicing, getting ready, it's everybody's undefeated. You know, we haven't won anything yet, and we've been working to this point, and we want to go 1-0 starting Thursday.
Too far away from the basket.
Osseo and Park Center will also have home games Thursday night in the Section 5 quarterfinals. Hopkins, Wayzata, Cooper, and Armstrong host games Wednesday night in Section 6 4A. It's the final week of the regular season in girls basketball. Hopkins hosted Wayzata in a late conference game Tuesday night. Nia Holly will drive and get the basket and foul here. Royals up big early, opening up a 13-0 lead. Holly runs the break and dishes a behind-the-back pass to Evelyn Knox for 2 more. Hannah Hiring with a 3 for Wayzata, but the Trojans still trailing by a dozen at this point. Brianna Suggs answers with a 3 for the Royals, and it's 22-9 Hopkins. Holly drives baseline and scores underneath. She nets 23 points in the game, and Hopkins wins 74-60. Highlights from Wayzata Creighton's section hockey final coming up Thursday, starting at 4.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Coming up, a milestone arrival in Golden Valley.
Yeah, something especially cute and cuddly when we come back.
Finally, a special milestone at the Animal Humane Society in Golden Valley.
Yes, Sally the Chihuahua arrived from California. She is the 1,000th Chihuahua to make its way to Golden Valley since the Humane Society began a partnership in 2012 with a California nonprofit to take in some of the homeless Chihuahuas. This afternoon, Humane Society staff members weighed and vaccinated Sally and 35 other dogs. After getting time to settle in, they'll all be put up for adoption.
Hollywood-made Chihuahua is very popular. They kind of exploded down there, basically a lot of breeding to accommodate the desire for Chihuahuas, and then people got Chihuahuas and realized they're small but they require a lot of care. So now people are giving up their Chihuahuas, and this is resulting in a lot of homeless Chihuahuas.
So the dogs that arrived today are between 10 weeks and 8 years old. Adoption fees will vary, so eventually you'll have your choice, puppy or mature Chihuahua.
I think there'll be some
There's only a
homes for
difference
those
of what,
Chihuahuas.
about 3 inches?
Right.
They're
Good
cute.
point.
They
Good
are
point.
cute. That'll do it. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you back here again tomorrow starting at 4.